A and B, which should be used to maximize profits?
Okay. So they are saying a manufacturing machine company requires machine A. So we have two machines, A and B, in the production of certain goods. The personnel for the operation of each machine are given below. So we have the personnels. So the personnels are the constraints. So we have the laborers, the operators, the technicians. These are what we call the constraints. These technicians, operators, and the laborers. Then we have two machines. So now they are saying graphically determine the number of machines A and B which should be used to maximize profit. So graphically, so they expect you to do it graphically. So we are going to, first of all, let's copy the table. So I'll expect people to give me very quickly what's on the table as I'll be writing. So we have laborers. We have something like this. We have laborers. Then after laborers, what do we have?
Operators,
Operators,
technician,
technicians.
profit per machine.
Then the profit per machine.
Mhm.
Okay. So then this side, we have machine A, isn't
Machine
it?
A, yes.
And machine
Machine B
B. We have those two machines, A and
maximum available.
And maximum available. So that's what we have. This is how our table looks like. This is how our table looks like. What is the figure that we have in the first entry?
6.
6. We are going in a row. Operator, under operator.
2.
2. Technician.
2.
Profit.
20.
Then we come down here.
3.
Then here.
7. 2. 30.
2.
Under technician 2, then profit 30.
30. Then available.
360.
360.
280.
280.
140.
140. So
then the last one in brackets 3 zeros.
That means that the profit is in thousands. So it implies that the profit is in thousands. This is 20,000, 30,000. So the profit is in thousands. That's the meaning of that. Then they are saying graphically determine the number of machines. Graphically determine the number of machines A and B which will maximize the profit. So we graphically determine A, machine A, and B that maximize profit. So the first thing that we will do is we say let, so we are solving now, let X and Y denote number of machines. Okay, so number of machines. So number of machines from, number of machines from here and B respectively. So respectively. So now when we do that, since this is a maximizing problem, we are going to have the objective function, which is so in our case, our objective function is the profit function. Since we want to maximize the profit, so this will be the profit function. So it will be P is equals to, then so we are saying for machine here, we have hex, 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 like that. Then we have Y, 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 Y for A and B. So it means we are talking about the profit function. So we are interested in this column. So the profit function will be 20x plus 30y. So this is the profit function and this is the objective function. Now we are going to come up with the constraints. So we'll come up with the constraints on the same. So I'm just going to lab the question here, since we already know that we are doing that. So we need to create space for the constraints. So for the constraints, so the first constraint, so we are saying this objective function is subject to, so the first constraint is for labelers. So we'll say 6x plus 3y. Now, available, you can't go beyond what is available. So if you have something that is available, so what's available is 360. So you can only get less or equal to 360. That is the first constraint that is coming from. So this constraint is coming from labelers. Then we have the second constraint coming from operators, which is 2x plus 7y less or equal to 280. The reason why it's been less or equal to, it's because what is available. You can't go beyond what is available. So if they use the term, so these are the terms that they use. When they use maximum, they use available, they use at most. So if they use these terms, the sign is less or equal to. But if they use minimum, meaning that is where you're starting from, minimum, at least, then the sign and more than, then the sign is greater or equal to. It means minimum, you can start from there going up. At least you start from there going up. So in our case, we have the maximum available. So that's why we are using less than. Then this is the constraint coming from the operator. Then finally, the last constraint coming from the technician, which is 2x plus 2y less or equal to 140. So this is a constraint coming from technician. Then the condition as usual, where you say x and y, they are both non-negatives, greater or equal to 0. So this is a condition that is always there when you're doing linear programming. So just formulating, do we have a question? Do we have anyone who has a problem formulating? Just coming up with the formulas from the table. Any questions? Okay. So if there are no questions, let's progress. So let's rewrite this. So I expect you're going to give me in this order. You first give me the objective functions, then the constraints. So make sure you have the constraint. We won't waste time. So just shout out, starting with the objective function. The objective function is P is equals to what? Someone?
20x plus 30y.
Subject to the constraints.
6x plus 3y.
6x plus
3y
3y
is less or equal to 360.
360. The next one,
2x plus 7y
2x plus 7y.
is less or equal to 280.
The next one,
2x plus 2y
2x plus 2y.
2y less or equal to 140.
Less or equal to 140.
140.
Is it clear? Guys, is it clear?
Yes,
And
it is.
we said x and y are both non-negative, greater or equal to 0. So this condition is always true. You have to put it. So the fourth inequality in our case, where you give the condition. So it's a matter of, so for a straight line, for you to do a straight line, you only need 2 points. So we'll start with this one. Since this is graphically, we have 6x plus 3y. Let's put it as an equation, 360, so that we come up with just 2 values. So we have that, like that. So if x and y. So if x is 0, if we put 0 there, what will be the value of y? We'll divide by 3, it will give us what? 120, isn't it? 360 divide 3. Kaidi x there is 0. Are we together?
Yes.
And if we put y as 0, so it means you are putting 0 there. So you divide by 6, that will give us 60. So we have the coordinates. The first one is 0, 120, and the other one is 60, 0, like that. Okay. Then, so we have those coordinates. We can do it for the other one, which is 2x plus 7y less or equal to 280. Then a table value x and y. If x is 0, y will be what? So if this is 0, then we'll divide by 7. That will give us what? 280 divide 7. 40.
40.
Then if y is 0, then we'll divide by 2. So that gives us 140. So the coordinates are 0, 40 and 140, 0, like that. So those are the coordinates. Then we go to the third one, which is 2x plus 2y equals 140. And just put equal there. X and y. So if x is 0, we divide by 2, that will be 70. If y is 0, divide by 2, that should be also 70. So we have 0, 70, and we also have 70, 0. Coming up with the coordinates of the boundaries, do we have anyone with a question? Okay. Okay, let's continue. The next thing now is to put up a graph. So you have to identify the maximum that we have for y is 120. For x, it's 140. So our graph should be in that order. Line negative, of course. So for you, it should look accurate. If you have a graph, even better, like that, 0, then we can do the 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. So this is y. Then in our Cartesian x coordinate, we also have do the 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160, 180. Then we can do the graphs. What are the coordinates for the first one?
0,120.
0,120. So we have the coordinate here. And the other coordinate?
60,0.
So here, then we connect the two lines with the loop, a straight edge. Okay, so since it's less than, it means for this one, it will point downwards. For less than, it points downwards. So it means the feasible region, the header that should be shaded should be below this line. For this one, just for this one, the header that should be shaded should be below this line since it's less than. So you do that. At this stage, you have not yet shaded. Then you go to the next one. So what is the equation for this line? What's the inequality for this line?
6x plus 3y.
6x plus 3y. Yes.
Equal to 360.
360. And then the next one, what are the coordinates for the next one?
0,40 and then 40,0. 140,0.
0,40.
Yes.
Then
140,0.
140,0. Okay. Then you connect the points there. Here it should be a straight edge. Here it has to be a straight edge. So it's also shading region is below since it's less than. So the shaded region should be below this line, not above it, below that line. Then the last one.
Yeah, that's 2x plus 7y less than or equal to 280 for that graph.
So you're saying this is 2x plus 7y less
Yes,
or equal to
280.
280. Okay. Then the last graph.
0,70, 70,0.
0,70.
70,0.
So that should be here and here. Okay, so passing through 70 and this one passing through 70. So the shaded region should be below it, like that. This it's less than, and this, you said this is 2x plus 2y less than or equal to 140.
Yes.
Okay. So the feasible region. Now we need to shade the feasible region. Since all of them, they are less than, the feasible region is always this part. If they are all of them, they are less than, then the feasible region is this part. Do we have anyone who has special, was done very well so that they give us accurate intersections? Because we are interested in where they are intersecting. So we have this part, we also have this part, we have this part, we also have this part, and we also have this part, the corners, and we also have this part, excluding, so we can label them as A, B, C, and D. So we need to take note of those corners. Do we have anyone who has shaded properly so that they give us the boundaries? No, takujuli asuka. Machiki.
Ah oui.
Numba ngata machiki nishita muli asukira.
We can start. We'll be telling you the points.
Okay, what are the coordinates here at A? 0,40. At B,
Yes.
at B, you said you'll be telling me.
Hold on, hold on. Mine is showing 50,30, but it's not accurate.
Since there is no one who is agreeing with you, we can go with yours.
The mine is showing 0,30, it's showing 30 as well.
Even yours is showing 30.
Yes.
Right, chava. Actuala mkweshiwa. Okay, let's pause the video so that we need to have accurate